everybody, and welcome back to my pottery channel. My name is Sarah, for those of you who don't know me, and welcome back to those who do know me. Today we are going to be making a butter dish. I have this ugly butter just in a container, and I'm needing a dish, and I know a lot of you need a dish too. So I am going to start off with a couple balls of clay, because we're going to have two pieces. We're going to have the tray where the butter sits on, and then we're going to have a lid for it. So this is my lid. We're gonna throw it into a bowl to start off as, and this is the tray. We're gonna start with the tray. And I'm gonna put this in a bag to make sure it doesn't dry out as we do this. And if you are wanting to do this, just make sure when you throw these that you have enough time to throw a tray and a bowl at the same time. Okay, as I center this clay, I am just gonna show you my quick game plan of what I want to do for this. I like to just sketch everything and make sure that I know what I'm doing before I get into it. Okay, as I'm centering this, I am just coning it up and down. I did reclaim the clay, so I just want to make sure that I have all my inconsistencies out. I am putting pressure on the bottom, and then as I go down, I am slowly coning it off to the side to make sure that we don't have any weird lumps. And I'm just taking off that ring, that little skirt. I think it's just a bit too much. Right. And I did go a little bit heavier on this. I really don't think we're gonna need this much clay, but it's always safe than sorry. And you can always reclaim clay, but you can never reclaim clay after you fire it. That's the nice part. Okay. And I'm just gonna speed up my wheel a bit. As you can see, I am putting pressure on the top and on the bottom. Okay. And there is our centered lump of clay. Okay, so this is going to be a plate or a little tray for the butter. So I did measure out my butter. My butters are about a half cup, I believe, because they're the short ones. So I'm gonna want it about 5 inches, maybe even 5.5. I'm gonna make it 5.5. So we're gonna want it about 5.5. Because the clay is gonna shrink, I'm gonna put this down to the side and I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna make this. Typically, you would just center, but since it is a plate, you don't need to center right off the bat. We're gonna push down the clay. And that is about 5.5 right there, which is perfect. Okay, so now we're gonna fix any impurities that we have. So as you can tell, I have this little knob in the middle, so we're just gonna get that out and press it. All the way over. And I do want a bit of a lip on mine. So I'm going to pop this guy up and we're going to press some of that clay from the middle out. We're going to be constantly checking the length in this. Okay, so it's a little over a half, 5.5, which is perfect because we're going to pop that rim up and make it into a wall. Perfect. Now I'm going to take my wooden rim one more time. This guy's about done. Super simple, super easy. Whoops. And we're going to just press that one more time. Okay, now we are ready to take this off the wheel. I just realized I probably should have done this with a smaller bat because it is a plate. Plates typically you do not wire off and then take off just because they are such a flat thing. You don't want to warp it at all, and it is so delicate. So I am just gonna wire this off and take the whole bat off. And then we're gonna put a new bat on and start our bowl for our next process. But first, I'm just gonna take a couple measurements. I'm gonna measure the inside of this from the inside ring to the inside ring, not the outside ring, because you're gonna want your mold to sit right there in that little opening, okay? So let me just wire that off real quick. We're just gonna set this aside for later. Okay, so now I have my new bat on my wheel, which is perfect. And then I'm gonna take my 1.5 pounds of clay and I'm going to center it and I'm gonna make a bowl out of it. I do want a more rounded bowl. So we will make that. Clay does typically like to work out slowly outwards as your wheel spins. It's just how gravity works. So I am just kind of working my way up and slowly out. As you can see, it's still pretty thick. Okay, this is about the shape I want it. I think it is a bit too tall. I think I used a bit too much clay. I think I did mention that, but we're gonna check the length of it to make sure it's on track. So it is a bit too wide. So we're gonna need to work it way back in. Okay, and I'm gonna do the same thing that I did with the bat. I'm just gonna pop it off because this is my last piece for today. Perfect. I'm just gonna pop that off. Okay, so now the next step of the butter dish is to trim it. So I have the top right here, the lid, and I am just going to wet my surface really quick. And I do have like a groove on mine, so I don't need to put any like clay around it or anything. Usually I wet my surface and it stays pretty put. And as I put it down, I am just gonna make sure it's pretty centered. I'm probably gonna have to adjust it a bit. That's actually perfect, that never happens. I'm just gonna tap it and make sure it's really stuck. And I am gonna go in on the sides first. So this is gonna be completely rounded. And then I'm gonna throw a little piece of clay on the top again. So we're gonna round this completely out, get rid of a big chunk of this. Actually, I'm gonna go in with my larger tool just because I have to take off quite a bit of clay. And with trimming, you do wanna keep your wheel fairly quick. It's almost like centering. You want to keep it pretty quick. Not too fast that it flies off the wheel, but fast enough to keep it nice. And I am always just keeping my hand right here, touching it to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, now that I have it trimmed, I am just going to take my rib and make sure that it is all smooth and that there are no inconsistencies. I also just like the way that this rib looks after I trim it. So I'm just going in with this and everything look nice. Okay, and now that I've done that and everything looks good, I am going to take a ball of clay and put it right out here on top. Let me go grab it real quick. Okay, I have my ball of clay and I am just going to take the top of this squirt down. Take this little guy, squirt him down. I don't know if I need to squirt him down since he's so soft, but we'll do it anyways, just because I do get a little bit paranoid. Take some slip. Whoops. Whoops. And put that down. I think that looks pretty good. Just gonna clean this up. Okay, now it's done. I'm just gonna clean off my hands, pop this guy off, and we're gonna trim the plate for it. Alright, and there is my butter jar. All I need to do is just add my butter in, and I think I'm gonna add a couple details to the outside. I'm just gonna decide. But yeah, that's our butter jar. It just goes and sits right nicely on top, and that is actually perfect. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and follow and share with your friends.